is also Fem, and today we're going to talk about my 9th week of PA school. I think by this point I've made it pretty clear how happy I am to be a PA student, and I always talk about how blessed I am to be in this position and how wonderful it is, but at the same time I also want to be realistic. I don't want you to think PA school is rainbows and butterflies, because in reality it's not. So yes, as amazing as it is to be in this position, to be a PA student, it is really difficult. PA school will require you to study for hours on end, but I am okay with that. It's not everyone's cup of tea to wake up at 7 a.m. and study until midnight, but sometimes you might need to do that for a midterms week or an exams week. What you have to understand is that I'm the type of person who is okay with making those sacrifices. So even though it is requiring a lot of effort from me, I don't mind that. So it's not fair for me to say that I'm having a great time when in reality I am studying a lot. I just choose to not focus so much on how many hours I have to study, but I focus on how much fun I'm having. But again, I do have to keep things realistic for you guys, so I decided to just show you what I go through in a week. Okay, so as you know, midterms week just passed, so I have the past 2 weeks schedule on here. So I prioritize all the school stuff first, and then I make time for my personal stuff. It's just all about having a balance. So I'm gonna put up a screenshot of my calendar soon, but for now, we're gonna look at my iPad over here. So again, as I was saying, this is just school stuff. I do have like my social life and personal stuff also on another calendar, which I have taken off. So I'm gonna show you the past week. This is last week, and then this was this week. So now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about them in detail. So the week starts on October 10th, and I practically spent the entire day doing homework. And I know it doesn't seem realistic to say that, but in reality, I did spend that long because I had multiple assignments, and each assignment takes me about 2 to 3 hours, and I had about 4. So yes, with breaks included and lunch and dinner, it did take me the whole day. So on Monday, I had a class, I had a second class, I had a study break for clinical medicine, I had anatomy class, and then I had anatomy lab, and then I came home for dinner, and that dinner break also includes taking a shower, driving home, etc. And as you can see, I went right back to studying after that, probably until about 10 or 11 p.m. And then on Tuesday, I had class, a second class, and then 2 review sessions that I did, followed by another class. Then I came home, same thing with the dinner, driving home, taking a shower, and then reviewing until I am about to pass out. And Wednesday was also a long day. It was a lot like Monday, except I had to stay up until midnight that day to study because I had an exam coming up. Thursday I had class, and then I legitimately spent the entire day until at least midnight studying for the exam I had the next day. I did take a break for lunch and dinner, but that was it. I studied the entire day. And then Friday morning, I had my exam. And as you might already know, I did have an exam on Monday morning, which was anatomy. So on Friday, you can see that I spent a majority of the day in the anatomy lab as well, just reviewing the stuff. So after a quick lunch break, I went back to studying anatomy for the next couple hours until probably about midnight. Keep in mind, I did have an exam that morning, then I had lab, then I took a lunch break, then I kept studying, so it just doesn't end. Saturday, as you can see, it was an all-day studying thing, and yes, it did take me all day because there were so many PowerPoints that I had to cover, so there's just no time to take a break. Then on Sunday, on October 17th, the studying continues. I spent about 5 hours in lab that day, just going over cadavers and learning as much as I can. Came home for lunch, took a shower because you really do smell after cadaver lab, and then went back to studying till midnight. That Monday morning, on the day of my exam, I did go back to cadaver lab to study. Then I had class, and then a quick review session. Then we had our exam. After the exam, which was 2 parts, we had a lecture portion and then a cadaver lab portion. I finally came home, and then it was time to study for my PD quiz, which was the next morning. So again, I stayed up till midnight on that day as well. And then on Tuesday morning, I had class, and then I had a review session in which I studied for physiology, and then I took my quiz, had class. We ended up doing a study group that day, which lasted about until 10 p.m. And then I studied on my own until about 1 a.m. that night. Then finally, it was Wednesday, and we had our exam in the morning. Then we had a class, then we had a review session for something. Then we had anatomy class, and then we had anatomy lab, and then I got to come home. And on my calendar, you'll see that I didn't have any school stuff listed for that evening, but I just had a lot of personal stuff that I needed to finally take care of. Then on Thursday, I had a class, I had a meeting that I had to go to, and then I had an assignment that I spent the next 5 to 6 hours doing that was also due that day. Then finally, yesterday was Friday, we had class, and then after that, I just took a personal day to relax and hang out with family and to call all my friends and to just catch up. Today, as you can see from my calendar, is Saturday, October 23rd, and I actually just got back from lab not too long ago. We have a physical diagnosis assessment coming up next Tuesday, so we spent about 5 hours in lab today just going over the stuff, and I will be going back tomorrow, Sunday morning as well, to do some more practicing. Besides that, I'm going to go ahead and study for a quiz that I have next week and prepare more for the assessment, and that will be it for today. Now that I have filmed this video as well, I'll probably be editing tonight or tomorrow depending on my schedule. I am doing some social things this weekend as well to just take my mind off of things. So tonight I have dinner plans with some friends, and then tomorrow we're hosting a movie night, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that is how the past 2 weeks went. That is what I have been up to. I hope it shows you a little bit more about how consuming PA school is and how you really don't have time to do anything else but to study. I feel like that is a realistic representation of what is expected of you during PA school, especially during midterms week. You won't have a lot of time to hang out or to sleep or to watch TV. And you need to be okay with sacrificing your time to study in order to succeed. So yes, I always talk about how happy I am to be here, but at the same time, I'm also giving it my 100% of effort. So just know what you're getting yourself into and just be prepared for doing that almost every week with some breaks in between. With all of that aside, I just wanted to talk to you as well. So in my last check-in video, I did mention that there's a lot of family things happening that is stressing me out. And in reality, I thought I was all good with that, but it turns out it did affect me quite a bit, where it affected me academically as well. I did do well in 2 of my exams, but on one of the exams, I didn't perform as well as I hoped. But everything is okay, everything is taken care of, and I did talk to my professors about what's happening. I do have a lot of support from school and from my husband as well, so I'm very lucky in that area. But I just want you to know that if you're struggling in PA school, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not strong. It's totally okay to struggle because life happens. And PA school clearly is very time consuming, and to have other things happen on top of that is overwhelming sometimes. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to keep trying, I'm going to keep doing my best in each class and hope for the best. I wanted to tell you this just to show you that sometimes you can do everything right. You can put in all the hours of studying, but sometimes things still might not work out, and that's okay. And it's normal for it to sometimes happen. Just be aware of that, don't beat yourself up about it too much, and just keep going forward. I plan to make another checking in video in about 2 weeks, but I'll also be posting another video next week as well. So if you're interested in my PA journey, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.